So there's always a choice. Who are you going to be in the face of the circumstance that you could easily call a crisis and no one would blame you? And you get a lot of agreement from the world, that it shouldn't have happened and it's unfair. And, if you didn't do another thing the rest of your life and the justification was that this crisis happened and it stopped your life, it ruined your life, it ruined your career, you would get much sympathy, but you wouldn't have the life that you want. You wouldn't have you wouldn't have the ability to create the life that you want.
I call it, you can be in a situation where you take the charge off of something and you can look at it from a different perspective, as opposed to being completely engulfed and overwhelmed by it. It's just something that's going on, and there's really no label that you need to put on it. You just need to understand that that's what's going on, and then you can figure out what you're committed to.
Had I not had some of those skills about how to think and breathe and calm down and live in the moment, I don't know if I'd ever, probably played in the big leagues. Getting my routine before the game was so big. I used to spend 10 minutes meditating. I used to read a Bible scripture just to really keep perspective. And then I used to do a breathing technique. I go back to an at-bat in 2006 when I was in the World Series. There's so many different at-bats, but I remember I was the second out, would have been the second out of the ninth inning in St. Louis, game 5. Adam Wainwright's closing the game out. He's on the mound. And I remember Wainwright gets me no balls and 2 strikes. And I remember stepping out of the box, and it was a deafening roar. I had never heard something so loud in my life. And I remember thinking to myself, man, is that loud? Like, boy, I mean, I've never heard a roar like this ever in my life. And I remember it was right then that my toolbox came back into play. Like, my skills that I've created over the years came back. I was like, wow, I got to get back in the moment. Like, the moment just got really big externally, and I got to internally get back into the moment. I got to find a way to get back into this at bat, and I only have a few seconds to do it. So I was able to step out, take a deep breath, slow myself down, and then really, really get back into the moment. And then, I got back into the at bat, and I remember facing Wainwright, and it seemed like the ball was coming in like in slow motion. So I knew that breath and getting into the moment of seeing the ball, hunting the fastball, seeing the ball late, got me back into that one-on-one competition and took out the 55,000 screaming people on their feet waiting for game 5 to win a championship. And, I ended up getting it back to 3-2, and I got a hit.
Things are not fitting your construct of life. Things are not coming together in a sequence or pattern that you recognize from the past. And it's kind of funny when you're an entrepreneur, that's kind of the norm.
It was just a positive attitude of, we can do this. It really doesn't matter what this is. We can do this. And we're going to give it 100%. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just leave it there. And then just feel wonderful about the effort that went into that.
Losing a child, everybody getting killed, my brother getting killed, all these traumas, I could look back at them as crisis. I could look back at them as terrible events. But what I've tried to do is I accepted them, and then I look back at them as some of the best moments in my life. And one thing I like to ask people still to this day, what is your worst moment in your life? And then what is your best moment in your life? And mine are the same, because it was those moments where I chose to rise.
This time, this thing we're going through, allow your magnificence to show through. Choose how you show up in the world. You do have that choice. You can choose. And that's what I really offer. Can you choose to make this the most horrible, unproductive, life-deadening period of your life? Or is this an opportunity to explore something new, find a different path, go a different way?
That's something that I feel is like an actionable, I can do it right now today. What will make me feel better? Okay, maybe if I breathe, take 3 deep breaths, maybe that'll make me feel just a little bit better. Oh, that's nice. I actually really liked that. Wow, and I kind of got out of a bit of the rut that I was digging myself into. Oh, you know what? I've always wanted to help this one organization and I just never felt I had time. Let me just go and inquire to them right now. Let me just do a little something. And I guarantee that if those little somethings is just something that you do that's kind to yourself and kind to the people around you, it has to start with yourself. Once you're kind to yourself, then it's much easier to be kind to others. Then that's kind of starts this ripple effect. You know, it doesn't have to be this huge, big, gargantuan thing. It's subtle, and it's just small positive decisions. So I would say that people that are in crisis, you know, just take a little sip of water, right? What is that little sip of water for your soul that just makes you feel better because you're doing something positive and it's an act of kindness or selflessness